Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to this beautiful morning of November. Can't believe Thanksgiving, it's around the corner and everybody's ready for the turkey.
Sure.
Who's cooking the turkey? Everybody's cooking?
Not I.
Is that Helen, the one that is
That
responsible?
That
I see. I see. That's good. That's awesome.
leave it to the younger folks.
That's good. So I know Eric is going to jump pretty quick here, and he does have he's ending his call pretty quick. Amir, do you want to go first? Do you want to wait for some more people to jump in? Dan Quinn is not going to be with us. That I know for sure. He's taking care of something this morning. But if you something to report, Amir, microphones are all yours. I don't know, Amir, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, he said he's having a hard time with his microphone. Okay. Can you hear me now, Amir? Amir? Kathy's coming. But while Amir is trying to connect the microphone, where's Eric? Okay, I keep letting people in. Wow. Amir, can you hear me?
I think I figured it out.
Okay, yeah, now we can hear you.
That was interesting. Sorry. I was trying to connect with my AirPods, but I guess my AirPods didn't want to connect, so I don't know. Good morning.
Morning.
Awesome. Well, I actually just have one update. Besides that, I don't really have anything else. Last week on Wednesday, we got the website redesigned back from the developers. So on Friday last week and sometime today and tomorrow, I'll be going through the changes that were made to the website. I will go back and forth with developers to make sure that we have everything ready to go. And then once we have the kind of the final proof that I've been able to go through, and I think it's ready to show what I would like to do. This is instructions from Eric and Robert as well. We all agree that it'll be best if we'll send it out to everybody and you guys take your time, go through the website, give me any feedback you have. Do take into consideration that I can't make every change, but you guys are the test users, so go in, take a look, tell me where you get stuck, tell me where potentially some gray areas are, and then we'll see how we can fix them. But besides that, right now, this time of year for us is really just planning for what we're going to do next year. So we're doing a lot of planning and budgeting and so on and so forth. So if you've seen other realtors do something that you like, this is probably the best time for you guys to send that over to me. It's an idea. We can kind of talk through it if I have any questions, and then I'm able to then pitch it to Eric and Robert to see if that's something that we want to take on. But besides that, I don't have anything else unless you guys have any questions for me specifically.
So Amir, let me just ask you this. So you're saying this will not be live at that point. We will get it and be working on it on a dummy fashion before we flip the switch over to make it live. This will be a testing. Is that right?
The website?
Yes.
So the website is not live. No, what you're going to be looking at essentially is the website and how it would function on an offline basis. So everything would work as if it would, as if it was online and ready to go. Once we're able to work out the kinks and quirks into it and make sure there's no sticky areas, then we would essentially just turn off what the Eric Stewart Group page is now and then turn this one on.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Well, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thanks, Amir.
Sure.
Eric, if you want to take this time, because I know you have to leave soon, why don't you go ahead and I
Sure.
can
Thank
continue
you.
last.
Everybody, thanks so much for coming to the meeting today. And I have to record an evergreen show this morning at 11 o'clock down at WMAL. Have you all noticed a change in the opportunities that we've had since I've gone live? Anybody have any feedback for me?
No feedback.
No feedback. Okay.
I haven't noticed any change at all.
Okay. Shannon, anything? No.
No.
So what's interesting is that I've noticed a real pickup in interaction with folks who are calling. I believe, Shannon, I believe you're working with a buyer, George, who came directly from the show, right? And wrote an offer with him last night.
Yes, yeah.
So, and that this is a guy who was just listening to our show Saturday afternoon and decided that he didn't like working with the agent that he was working with, and came over to us and called me, and a little bit of feedback on that. Robert, you and Amir and I need to just chat about how folks are reaching us. I want to make sure we, because we're doing a good job of making the 10 days of pain work. But George had a little bit of feedback for me, so I'll share that with you on Wednesday. But he found me, called me. He's a VA veteran looking to have somebody who understands VA loans, and I assured him that Shannon was knowledgeable, as she is, and and that I would be right there to answer questions. And so Shannon and I have tag teamed in conversation with him. And Shannon, you took him out really one time and showed him the house, and you've written an offer with an escalation clause. So congratulations. I hope you get it. I imagine you're competing.
Yes, it's a very they were booked all day long for showings on Saturday, open house on Sunday. So it's going to be very competitive, but they put in an escalation clause up to $75,000 more than asking price. So fingers
Okay.
crossed.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, good luck. Good luck. I hope it works. Good. Has anybody listened to the show? Anybody have any feedback for the new Saturday show?
I listened 1 week. I haven't heard it since, but I thought it was good.
Okay. Well, we've had live callers every week. We talked termites specifically this past weekend, the weekend before that, asbestos. And next week, we will discuss senior living and the 7 options of senior living. And guest on my show will be Lauren Langford from the Village of Rockville. So I've set that up for her to call in. I've noticed a pick up. I guess it's probably coming through the system, and in terms of the number of hits that we're getting, the requests for guides, webinar attendees, and maybe it's just going to take some processing, some time for those things to work their way through. But I'm encouraged by going this direction. I'm enjoying it. So anyway, I wanted to just update you briefly on that. Thanks again for all your feedback on the videos. We've made quite a few changes to what the videos were, and I'm anticipating within the next couple of weeks having those redone. The main thing really came down to transitions. There were a couple of scenes that were a little too made up in the face, right? But it was distracting and disruptive the way that the pieces were put together. Probably perfect for a 10-year-old, but not necessarily for our audience. So we'll work with that. So guys, I wanted to chat a bit about staging and how we are approaching staging. And I also would like to discuss the Guarantee Buy program that our team offers. So by the way, Robert, is Keely going to join us? I wanted her to be a part of this conversation if she's.
She said she will, but she's not here yet.
All right. You mind texting her and just ask her to come on? So let's jump in on the Guarantee Buy program specifically, because this is something that I've gone the other direction on my communications about, sort of against the Reynolds and against these Guarantee Buy programs on the radio. And I've changed my focus now. Instead of criticizing what other people are doing, I'm now focusing on what it is we do, which I think is more true to who I am. Anybody watch Squid Game? Does anybody watch this game? Oh my gosh, holy cow! It's brilliant on Netflix. It's an 8-part series. I will not say what I was about to say because I would be referencing something that I saw in there, and I don't want to do that. But I want you to understand that who we are, who you are, and one of the reasons why each one of you were chosen to be a part of this group was your positive attitude, non-complaining spirit, and your desire to be an encouragement. Sarah, you couldn't attend our barbecue picnic the other day, but we gave paper plate awards, and I think maybe I left you a message. I don't recall for sure, but you won the "What Can I Do to Help" award or something like that. It was, it's that. Well, it's true to who you are, and I think everybody got nicknames of different kinds. I think Shannon's is the locomotive, Tayo Bass is Rocky Balboa, and Keely is the Red Bull, because she's always like on Red Bull. I'm glad she's not on for that. So anyway, we have a wonderful group. And we are a positive force, and we're a positive force for change, encouragement, and leadership within our industry. And I want us to be that. So what I'm doing is defining what we can do for our home sellers in a guarantee buy fashion. And because we have the show, we have the opportunity to really disclose what makes ours unique and what makes ours special. So, and it's important you understand what you can offer to home sellers. And you will be getting this question because I recorded 2 ads which just started running, which one of those mentions the Guarantee Buy program. So here's how it works. Joe and Mary are looking to sell their home, and they call us because they want to hear about our Guarantee Buy program. Joe and Mary are thinking, well, I want to know how much you'll buy my house for. Well, what our guarantee does is it actually serves the home seller to get more buyers to come to look at their home. We don't want to buy somebody's house. Our goal isn't to buy real estate, it's to sell it. And our goal is to attract as many buyers to our listings as possible. So when we have a listing like Joe and Mary's house, we will offer the guarantee to any buyer who comes in and wants to buy Joe and Mary's house. So imagine this, Joe and Mary's house is $700,000, and they have a buyer who comes in with a $450,000 home that they need to get the equity out of. Okay, this is this catch-22 in real estate for a lot of home buyers. I don't know if I should sell first because I don't know if I'll find what I want. Or I want to buy first, but then I feel like I have to sell and I got to get it done because I'm anxious about carrying 2 houses. So it's a conundrum. I own no houses if I sell first, or I own 2 if I buy first. You follow? And there are certainly in the environment we've been in where there's so much cash, the opportunity to purchase real estate, it's just been easy. People just buy and then they sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. But there will come an equilibrium point where there's going to be more of this fear going on. So in Joe and Mary's case, they decide they're going to hire us because you did an excellent job in communicating to them that we will attract other buyers who haven't sold their homes yet, and we will offer to guarantee to buy their house if they make a contract on your house. So it really is going to get the buyer to come in and make an offer on Joe and Mary's non-contingent, and then we'll be on the hook to have to sell the buyer's house within 90 days, or we'll buy it. Now, you won't buy it, I'll buy it. So you're not the buyer of anybody's house. You're not on the hook for that. What you are on, though, is you're on the hook to get me involved if that happens, because I'm ultimately going to be the one who will look at the buyer's house and verify what the price would be. Because as happened years ago, there was a couple that wanted to buy a home that I had listed for $650,000. They had a $450,000 home, and I offered to pay them 90% of $450,000 or 405 if I couldn't sell it in 90 days if they bought my 650. They said, great, we'll take it. Now, built into my agreement at 450, which is what I would list it for after they secured the 650 purchase, was some corrections in that price over 90 days, ultimately going down to 405, at which point I would have settled the purchase of it. The reality was they wrote an offer on my listing for 650, non-contingent on the sale of their home, because I gave them a guarantee in writing. And that's where I would come in. If you hear somebody call on the ad and you explain to them, well, we offer a guarantee. We will buy your home if we can't sell it if you buy one of our listings. Okay. And they say, wow, okay. And maybe they don't want to buy one of our listings. And now you have a buyer and a seller you're working with, right? You've attracted new business for yourself because we've offered a guarantee and it's a legitimate one. And we explain it up front to people. Or maybe it's the sandwich we put together. We make it, because that couple at 450, I was just explaining, they were selling a 450 and buying my 650. They wrote a non-contingent offer on my 650. And another buyer came in who was non-contingent. And then that buyer and the buyer that I created non-contingent duked it out. And the price went up 40 grand to 690. So my seller made more money because of the guarantee buy program. My seller at 650 got more money because I guaranteed a buyer who then competed to get their house and forced the price higher. So my seller made more, and that's where you really can explain. We'll attract more buyers. Sometimes it's our non-contingency that creates a multiple contract scenario and will get you more money, okay? So I'm explaining this to you. I don't expect you to fully understand what I'm saying because you've not been through it before. But the key aspects of this are, if someone contacts you about the Guarantee Buy program and you're unclear on how to explain it and would like for me to be on a call with you, with your potential seller, then send me a text and say, I've got a lead. They want to understand the Guarantee Buy program. Can you jump on the call? I want to hear you explain it again. And I'll go through training with you on that, okay? All right. I don't know how many calls we're going to get. I don't know how much interest we're going to get from this specific tool. And Kathy and well, Jim and Debbie have been here long enough to know, and Robert, of course, have been here long enough to know that the guarantee comes in handy on occasion. It's like a tool in the tool chest. For radio, it may create more of a buzz. We may get more interest from listeners because it is something that is legitimate, that I have legitimately purchased a home. I did. I've only bought one, but I used to put contracts together this way, and I used to attract more business to our company with this. And, you know, my circumstances are such that I can afford to buy another house if I needed to. Okay. So I can give this out. We probably can't layer in 3 to 4 to 5 of these at the same time because I can't put myself on the hook for so many purchases, right? So, but you don't have to worry about that. We'll just focus together on trying to get the opportunities. Generally, folks won't take the guarantee, but they want to understand it and they want to know that it's there and it's a tool in our tool chest. Any questions? Either I'm a really good communicator or there's just a lack of desire to embarrass oneself and raise their hands. Have I explained it that well? You all got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Jim, Debbie, any questions?
No.
Okay. Okay. So on staging. So I want to remind us that we have built processes so that each member of our group, when we take listings, we can follow the processes for getting our properties up for sale. We've got support through our inside sales agents. We've got support through our marketing department. And ultimately, our goal is to make your life easier. And how is it to make your life easier? It's to create the systems and then train you in the systems so that you know how to just be more efficient. right? I mean, that's it. And getting there, it takes a little bit of time. My hat's off to Helen Flynn here. I got to take my hat off here. Okay. Helen, congratulations on the consistency of how you've embraced our systems. And it was a process of getting there, but you've really improved. And my hat's off to you for learning and digging in. And Robert and Amir were singing your praises at our meeting last week. So congratulations and well done.
Thank you.
So, when it comes to staging, staging is selling the romance. People ask you, what do you mean? What do you mean by staging? Well, first of all, we bring a stager in to give advice, right? You all know how that works. What if you've got a home that is vacant? How are we going to handle the staging on a home that is vacant? Shannon, do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay, that's okay. This is why I'm talking about it, because I'm not sure that you all understand what we can do. Okay. Sarah, what about you? You got a vacant house. How would we handle that?
Virtual staging.
Okay. And how do we sign up for virtual staging? How do we accomplish that?
We go into the agent portal
Okay.
and set it up that way.
Very nice. Very nice, Sarah.
That
Wow.
way.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding.
What do I win?
Another paper plate.
I'm good. Just kidding.
So I want to take a moment. So Jim has done this and done it well, and you know how to order this. Jim, do you mind sharing what you've done to order this?
Sure. It's similar to what Sarah says. On a vacant home, you identify those rooms, the main rooms in the house that you want to have staged. You let the client know that you're going to limit it to probably 4 to 5 rooms, of course, depending upon the size of the home. Usually the living room, dining room, family room, master bedroom. And then if there's a rec room in the basement, or if it's a nice bigger home and there's a nicer kitchen that has maybe like an eat-in space, choose those rooms, go into the agent portal. There's a Box Brownie sign up form in there, and it's pretty straightforward. You put the address, you put you download each of the pictures that you want, one picture for the family room. You let Robert know on the form which room the picture aligns with, whether it's the family room or the living room. Sometimes it's pretty self-explanatory, but sometimes it's good, obviously, to make sure he knows what room is the living room or dining room or rec room or whatever it might be. Then there's a drop down that shows the style that you're going to use. Now, the options are like contemporary, traditional, farmhouse, modern. Can't remember the other ones, but it's a drop down menu. And then you can put on there anything specific that you want. So if it's the rec room, you can put whether or not you want a TV in there, or I've had specific sellers ask for a pool table or I don't know, pinball machine, something like that. I try not to get I try not to let the seller add too much information to it, because the more they get involved, the more complex it can be. We do a pretty good job, and the company does a pretty good job of getting these things nicely staged. So once you upload those individual pictures, put the notes on there, you upload it, Robert will get it. You get an automatic reply back that it's been received, and Robert and his team will submit it to Box Brownie. And I think the turnaround typically, Robert, I think Box Brownie has been promising 5 to 7 days, which a lot of times that seems like a pretty long window when you're trying to get homes up on the market quickly. But I was telling Robert, I've been pleasantly surprised. A lot of times we're getting it back in like 2 business days. So tell your clients that it normally takes a week or 5 to 7 days, and then you can pleasantly surprise them, with the staged images. If you don't have the time, I wouldn't wait, especially in the spring market, to not put a home on the market because you don't have the staged images. So what you can do is upload the unstaged images, and then when you get the staged images, you just drop them into Bright so they can see them thereafter. I would definitely use the print version, the stage versions on your print forms, your print marketing pieces. And then I always like to, digital staging is much more common now. So I don't think I've ever really gotten any pushback lately on something being digitally staged, but I like to put in the agent remarks that something along the lines of, some rooms have been digitally staged, so people aren't completely caught off when they show up to a vacant house. But I definitely have had a couple agents tell me, I had a couple homes over the past year where the condition of the home was less than ideal. It wasn't a nicely prepared home just because the seller didn't have the money to put into it, but we had them digitally staged, and several agents would call and say, boy, like the pictures really made it look a lot better than what it was, which is good. I mean, that's our job. We got to get people there, and then from there, the buyer and the buyer's agent can decide whether or not it's a quality home for that buyer. But our job is to get people there, and the digital staging can definitely dress up a home to get more showings for sure.
Thanks for sharing, Jim. I appreciate that. That's good. Everybody got any questions for Jim on how that process works? Okay, so if you haven't done this yet, then you need to try to do it. And I would suggest to you this, that if you've got a house it's fully occupied, but there are rooms that really don't look good, that you go ahead and try this, okay? We want to support your effort in presenting the home and capturing the greatest amount of romantic interest, okay? So if if a seller is going to make their house look good and it's nice and it presents, fine. Let's just take the pictures, get it up for sale and sell it. If it's a vacant home and it's hard to see the space, or you've got maybe 1 or 2 rooms that are staged, but the rest is not, I would say go through a practice, maybe just order 1 or 2 rooms for that purpose. Get the poster blown up, get the easel. 1 second, guys, I'm sorry, I've got people here at the house. I'll be right back.
Hey guys, one thing I would suggest, Eric was saying if there's 1 or 2 rooms that don't look great, be wary of promising sellers that, oh, well, we're going to take a picture and we'll just Photoshop your ugly couch out, or we'll Photoshop something out of it. It takes a lot longer for them to do. And while I do think that at times they do a good job, it's not going to look nearly as good as what you think it's going to look. So yeah, just be wary of a cluttered room all of a sudden going to be magically stripped of what's in there and then new furniture put in. If it's going to be a room, like he says, I would actually probably suggest to the seller to get everything out of a room, have it photographed vacant, have them move the furniture back in the room, but then in the pictures, you're going to use a digitally staged room. Does that make sense, Robert?
Yes, it does. Yeah. So let me just share my screen real quick so you guys have an idea of the many of these people have here. But yeah, what Jim is saying is correct. Okay. So here's the screen from their website. These are the things that they normally do for us. So like these image enhancements, basically if it's too, the one of the rooms is too dark or too grainy or needed a little bit of a enhancement, we can take care of that. Of course, there is the virtual staging when the house is vacant and it's really nothing that other than just to start dropping furniture, that we have a form over there. Day to dusk, we do have, this comes in different flavors. And again, it's all on the jot form that you have over there. The item removal. So let's say, the photographer took a picture and they left some stuff on the counter in the kitchen, and you don't want to send the photographer back, so we can do the item removal, which would be a lot cheaper than sending the photographer out there. Floor plans, I haven't tried these from them, so I don't really know how it works. Renders, this is if you have, like, you're pitching a potential listing to a builder or a flipper. This is a great thing that we can do for the type of property. Once you have the blueprint of the property that can be built on a piece of land, this is something that we can do. And it's a higher investment, but I think it's worth it. And they give you the PDFs and the JPEGs, so you can also upload online. I've tried this myself and I was actually very pleased with the work. It takes a little bit longer. It's about 2 weeks to be ready. The other ones, it's at that, 5 to 7 business days, but as Jim said, they do it a lot faster. Like the image enhancement, it's almost done on the same day, or the day to dusk. Those things are done that way. Virtual renovations. So this one is something where if you want to show like a before and after of a room, if a seller is given a credit for a renovation of a space in a house, this is something that also can be used. We could take a couple pictures. Virtual tour, we really don't need it because we do have our own. And these last two, we never used those before, but definitely take advantage of the virtual staging. And one of the things that we do is once you are in the form, you will see that once you identify the properties you want, there is an option to make those prints, some of the images, select the ones you like, we print them out. I think it's 3 feet by 36 by 24 that we do. And then those can be taken to the property and put in the rooms that are vacant. So you can give the potential buyers the experience of how this place will look after, if it would be furnished and so on. So that's just an add-on. Another thing I will say is when you are adding pictures to this in the MLS, I don't know if Jim, you do it that way, but it's not a bad idea to do the before and after so people have an idea of the room so they're not surprised when they get to the house and they just see that what happened with the picture that it has, all the furniture online. Why is it all looking vacant? You don't want to upset people. Not that they will. Well, some people probably do. But I think it's a good idea to have the before and after.
Yeah, I put both in there.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to go in just a couple of minutes, but wanted to make sure we discuss the staging. Thanks for covering that. Thanks, Jim, for your insights on that. 2-for-1 advice, key in conversation. Seller says to you, I don't want to do anything to prepare my house. Your response back is to ask a question. Let me make sure that I'm clear, Mr. Seller. You don't want to do anything to prepare your house, or you don't want to do anything that you can't make money on. Like if I could show you where you can put $1 to get $2 back, would you be interested in that? No, I'm not interested in doing anything. He's answered the question. Well, sure. I would obviously want to put $1 in to get $2 back. He's answered the question. To qualify and point out, I find that there are some key phrases in my listing appointments that just sort of end all question of our fiduciary duty. Things like, Mr. Johnson, we have this thing called dual agency where a buyer and a seller can be represented by the same person, and I'll never do that. I'll only ever represent you. I'll always have your back. Okay, that's a very clean way of communicating you're looking out for those people. On the investment side, sir, my philosophy is I want to put $1 to get $2 back. Okay, how are we going to do that? Great question. Well, I'll have to see your house first. Let's set up a time. What's your schedule like tomorrow, or is Friday better? Alternative choice. Go for the opportunity. Okay. All right. So you guys are creators. You create the opportunity. We're not responders. We don't take orders. We're not order takers. We're creators of opportunities. We're the ones who lead our clients. We're the ones who tell them, explain to them how we're going to help them make money and what we're going to do to care for them. So use the 2-for-1. It's a consistent way of generating interest by prospects. We as a team believe we'll show you where. So the top 3 ways to put money into your house. Number 1 is decluttering, because it shows the abundance of space. It's also very inexpensive. There's a brand new drive up Goodwill here on Rockville Pike, right where Earth Trex is. If you've not been over there, you can drive your car up. They usually have 1 or 2 men there ready to just take whatever you've got in your car out and put it in their bins. They'll hand you a blank piece of paper and you're done. You don't have to drive to Gaithersburg for this. Goodwill's taking all kinds of stuff. The other is horizontal spaces, that's hardwood floors, carpets, things like this, or vertical spaces, cleaning the windows. Have the screens removed when you clean the windows and put the screens away someplace in the garage or the basement if you're going to go on the market next spring. Okay. Somebody's thinking about selling, but they're not moving until next summer in August. They're not ready to meet with you. What do you say? And I'll close with this and then I've got to go. What do you say when someone says, I'm not moving till August? To get the opportunity to meet with them, you need to help them understand the advantage to meeting with you now and why August is not that far away. Okay, so you're not selling till August. Okay, good. So do you mind if I just take a moment and back us out of that time frame for your move and talk about when the best time would be to meet? Just ask permission politely. Do you mind if I explain to you? If an August move is a July or June settlement with a rent back, and then we're 60 days before that, 45 days before that to be under contract, that puts us in May, maybe late April, right? So if we're on the market at the beginning of April, what do we need to do to get ready for that, Mr. Seller? What we recommend is that we come out, tell you what you need to do, knowing that you're not ready. We know the house is not prepared, and don't worry, we look right past all of that. Our goal is to give you a plan of action and then walk you through having our stager come in and tell you what colors to paint, all of this, and it's included in what we do. We want to meet with you to tell you how we'll work. You can decide whether you want to hire us at that time or not. But we think that now makes sense because we're going into the holidays, and perhaps we can get some exterior photos now if you decide you want to work with us. And you can then have that prescription from our stager to work on things for the next few months. And then we would shoot to probably put your home on the market in sometime late February, March, or early April, so we can hit that time frame and have your August move. And the big compelling reason, Mr. Seller, is that there's much greater demand for your property, and we will sell for more money if we go earlier. And I want to show you how that works. So what's your schedule like tomorrow, or is the weekend better for you? I've gone right from what I'm presenting into closing for the appointment. Always be closing for the appointment. Take whatever it is that you're doing and then point out the benefit, and then try to get the opportunity to meet. Now you'll find folks will say, I'm not ready. You say, no problem. What would you prefer? Would you like me to call you back in a few days, or would you like me to call you back in 3 or 4 weeks? So I'm not waiting too long. I don't want to give them, I'll call you in the springtime sometime. Call me in a few weeks. Okay, fine. How about if it's right after Thanksgiving, we can get together in early December. I'm even suggesting the opportunity. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That sounds good. So you call them, you wish them a nice Thanksgiving. It was so nice to talk with you the other day. I'll be calling you next week. We'll get together soon. Okay, so that's it. 2 for 1. Use those opportunities and close for the appointment. You'll be successful. And apologize, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to end up getting back on, but I'll be driving, so I'll be listening more than anything. And
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. So that's my turn to deliver all the goodies that I have. Just to go back with Eric, it's saying after reading the book that I am reading, which by the way, don't say that, but Eric got a book to all of you from the Never Split the Difference, I think is the name, the book. So Eric got one book for each of you. It's a gift. Don't say anything that I said that. I spoiled the surprise, but I've been reading that book, honestly, and I've learned a lot of those things and listening to the book. And one of the things that the author says in the book is when people tell you that they're not ready to do something, to do an action. It is basically just an uncertainty that they have in their head. So a way to overcome that, when they tell you, well, we're not ready to meet for a sale, you know, for going on the market in August. So you can qualify those things in a couple ways. Number one says, you know, Mr. Seller, would you be against me telling you why you need to start thinking now in terms of getting your house ready to go on the market for next year, right? They said, no, I'm not. They're always going to say, no, I'm not against that. Yeah, please tell me. And the other one is, you know, you don't know what's in their head, right? We have no idea what they're thinking. So maybe they think like, oh, it's just a matter of 2 months that I can get this thing going and put it on the market. It's super simple and will be up for sale. You can also, you know, so with what you already know about selling houses, whether it's a lot or not, you know, what's the plan that you have in mind to achieve your August date on the market, to be on the market? So that way you kind of like understand what they're thinking, because you could just very easily be giving these people the wrong advice, and they are going to be probably feeling like you are pushing them to do something that they don't want to do. So just, you know, a couple things, always be checking on what is it that they're telling you, because what they tell you sometimes is not necessarily what they wanted to do. Okay, let's move to the next thing that I have here. So for those of you that have a Brevity account, just want to let you know they finally released the Brevity mobile app. And what happens is they had a couple of issues. They have to take it down and then have to put it out again. So just want to let you know that now you do have the mobile app availability. Again, you have to have a Brevity account in order to do that. HubSpot does not have a mobile app. So I downloaded it myself, play with it. It's very nice. It's pretty cool. And there's a couple of ways you can share these app with the people that you're working with. So I'm just going to share that real quick for those that have that.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
Actually, HubSpot does have a mobile app.
Oh, yeah, but it's not, you cannot search homes.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood that.
No, yeah, this is gonna search homes. So right here, if you see right here, so this is, I created myself here on this one. And right here says the app, you can send the app in different ways. You can do a text message, you can do an email, or you can just copy the link and send it to that person if you wanted to do it. I tried all of them and went through the whole process. So I encourage you, if you do have clients, whether they're sellers or buyers, I mean, you can try with both because you can create a search for a seller that is going to be on the market next year, and you can create a search for their neighborhood, right? And it's just to keep an eye on what's happening in the neighborhood, and then you can measure the engagement the seller is having back with the app and the website. So you can do that. So just wanted to let you know, it is actually pretty cool, the app. I like it a lot. So try it you first, download it yourself, create a dummy account, try it, and then see how it works. Because then when you tell someone that go ahead and download it, you want to make sure that that person knows exactly, you know, and you're going to be able to walk them through. If you have any questions, let me know. I know Brevity has some training that they have put together. Be more than happy to either do a one-on-one with you or just put you in touch with the training that they have going on. Okay. The next thing I have is, just move to the next thing. Okay, this is something that it's new. Well, it's new to me. I had no idea that this clause existed before, and I'm only speaking for agents that are licensed in Maryland for now, but I'll do my research in Virginia and DC. But if you do ask an agent to hold an open house for you, because no one in the team can do it, you couldn't find someone in the brokerage, and you had to go outside of the Long and Foster brokerage, Redfin, Remax, you name it, right? Keller Williams, Compass, Arla, and you pay this person to do the open house, or this person that's it for free, because with the expectation they will be getting the leads, you are in violation of the Maryland Real Estate Brokers Act. And in essence says that the fine can go $5,000 for both parties, for the agent that asking to do the open house plus the agent that is doing doing the open house. But the most important critical thing of this is that the agent doing the open house on your behalf, it's considered an unlicensed real estate agent for the purpose of holding that open house, which can also increase the fines up to $25,000 if they find out. So just wanted to bring it up to your attention because this is a very delicate matter. And if you cannot find an agent within your brokerage or the team, I think you better off have a conversation with your client that whatever weekend the client was asking to hold an open house is not going to happen, and you rather push it to the next, or maybe do a twilight open house. I heard a lot of agents don't like to do weekend open houses. I know it's getting dark now earlier, but you can do a twilight open house on a Friday and a Thursday. And I heard the success is pretty amazing. A lot of people say they get a lot more people, especially now that people have been working from home. You know, they tend to probably leave early, 4:30 or so they can come over and visit you at a twilight open house. But if you cannot find an agent to hold an open house within the broker or the team, do not run the risk of inviting somebody from another brokerage to come, because you just never know. You know, it could be that one tester comes up over there and this person hands out the business card for the other brokerage, and that's it. You just $5,000 right there for you and for the other realtor agreeing to do the open house. So I don't mean to scare you with this. I only want to make sure that we protect each other, and I will hate for, you know, one of you guys to get fined $5,000. Any questions on that, Maryland agents? Nope. Okay, clear as water. And then the last thing I have is, I know that we promised to some of you that we will be doing some sort of training for some of the agents. And this is training, it's you know, anybody can come to the training. Well, I wanted to say that the Eric Stewart Group University site is now up and running. I'm still waiting from Eric to take a look at the site and give me his feedback in terms of what is it that he wanted to see going on there. But this is basically how we designed the training for what we're going to be doing. And this is listings and buys. It applies to both of them. So this is Eric's famous quote from Warren Buffett: price is what you pay, value is what you get, and talks a little bit about Eric. So the way we broke it down is the prospecting, pitching, and the processes, right? So the processes is all that has to do with internal marketing and operations, and then prospecting and pitching is basically on the sales side of things. Remember that a team outperforms an individual. This is something that I learned from Tom Ferry, and I think Kathy's probably heard of that many times, and this is just a little bit about Eric. So now up here, you'll have a menu where you're going to be looking at the different things that you can be looking at. So this is going to be part of the training. So the plan, so you always have to have a plan for prospecting. You're just not going to, you know, I don't want you just to grab a bunch of leads and just start calling just because of calling, right? If you don't know who they are and the reason where are you calling them. I mean, are these buyers? Are they sellers? Are they investors? Or who are they? We don't know. So let's just make sure that's part of it. So once you have created a plan, then you're going to have a target, right? So your plan is basically just gives you an idea of everything that you have to have together. And we have added some collateral material from other brokers and coaches and so on that kind of gives you an idea of what is it that you're going to have to be working on. So this is pretty interesting thing that we've been able to put together. Again, this is just the first version of this. I'm sure that after you guys go see it, there's going to be some feedback you guys are going to give us, and maybe we'll have to go and look into other things. This is the target. So this is basically how, you know, once you identify everything, then we're going to start targeting these clients. And this is kind of like your, you know, Eric, like his niche is doing retirement communities, right? So Helen does very well with meetings that she does at the office that talks about, you know, downsizing and so on. So we all find ourselves, you know, like for me, for example, what I like the most is the move up buyers where I have to sell a house. So they have a condo, townhouse, or smaller single family to sell. I like to work with them, help them through the process, sell that place, and then help them purchase something bigger. That's where I like, if you wanted to ask me, that's kind of where I like to specialize and do things. Resources, this is everything that we do here at the Eric Stewart Group in terms of the blogs, the guides, the radio show. Yeah, you know, would it be pretty challenging for one of us if we are meeting with a client that knows more about our resources than we do, or they like, oh, you know, Eric's last Saturday show was pretty cool. What do you think about whatever he said, right? It's just going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm not saying that you have to listen to the show. That's not what I'm trying to say, but at least you need to, you know, everything he talks, it's all around the marketing materials that we have created. You have also helped put together and so on. So this is just kind of like an idea of the different things that we have in terms of guides and so on. And then this is, you know, our Brevity home valuation system that you can also have take advantage of that. And then we're going to have the follow-up. This is very important, right? They say the money is in the follow-up. The money is not in creating the opportunities. The money is in the follow-up, and you all can testify it. It's very hard sometimes when they become very unresponsive that you don't know where they are. So this is the kind of the follow-up process that we have to kind of like, you know, use internally, just to make sure that you understand that you are doing the right thing by calling people. You know, it's just like some people say, well, you know, I feel like after 7 phone calls, they don't want to interact with me. Probably they don't. But on another hand is, you know, there has to be multiple contacts in order for you to become a customer. Look at this. If you look at this chart, after the 7th attempt, they become your customer. So 1, 2, or 3, it's probably the average. You know, 43% agents, they give up on the first attempt, 68% on the second, 80% on the third attempt, right? So that's why it's important for us to have ISAs, because our ISAs, they get paid to do multiple attempts to customers and so on. And this is sort of how your probabilities go up depending on the number of calls that you do. Definitely you start doing that. So this is just to give you an idea. So, well, you know, if you would have come and said that lead that you gave me is unresponsive, first thing I will say is, how many times did you call? Well, I only called once and sent 1 email, 1 text message. Well, if you make reference to this graph, maybe you are, and you're planning to give up, then you just became that part of that 81% of the people that will do that. At the end of the day, you know, your goal is, this is some KPIs, key performance indicators. 4,000 conversations should give you about 80 appointments. That's if your conversion ratio is of 25%. And then that should give you 20 secure agreements. And not every agreement will or transaction that you have will go to the finish line, because there's changes in circumstances for a seller or buyer. Then you ended up probably with 10 closed deals. These are just, again, statistics. That's not you. You can say, Robert, last year I took 25 transactions and I closed the 25 transactions. This probably does not apply to you, but there is some basic metrics that we have to look at just to make sure that you are performing to that. Because if you tell me, well, I went to 80 appointments and I only secure 5 transactions, then maybe, you know, you need to improve your conversion skills. I'm not going to look into that. Then, you know, the pitching, that's the other side. So for the pitching, a lot of the people that's, you know, they always want to look to you. One of the agents in our team recently asked me, say, you know what, they like me, they want to work with me, but they don't think I have enough experience or haven't been doing this for long. So they, you know, they kind of like hesitant to just give me the go ahead. Well, this is where, you know, why I've been telling people, says, look, create your Zillow account, get reviews, because guess what? Even before they call you or right after the conversation with you, first thing they do is just go to Zillow, to Google, and just type your name, realtor, and then click search and see what happens, right? And if you come with nothing, recently for the position that Eric has opened that for the listing manager, we have something in Indeed, and this guy found us on Indeed and submitted an application, and he is a realtor that it was pretty big in Potomac, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, according to Eric. I never heard his name, but pretty well-known agent apparently in Potomac. So when I went, first thing I says, let me see how good this guy is in sales, because why is he going to go now into a paid salary position when he's been so good at doing real estate? So I went and Googled the guy. just one page came out with the guy's name search, and that was just like a landing page from the broker that basically just had like a couple sentences about who this guy is and what he likes to do, and that was it. That, in today's standards, you are nobody based for the internet searches. And I think Amir will agree with me that you have to have some proof of validation. You have to show people who you are, because they want to do business with people that are doing good things. So this is just kind of to give you an idea of things that you could be doing in terms of becoming that hyper local person and how you can really do more. I mean, this is just generic ideas, doesn't mean that it all applies to you. And then the pitching, right? There's different types of pitching, how you're going to be pitching your skills, your knowledge, your team, all the things that we have. So this is just basically some basic understanding of how that comes. This is a great article actually I took from HubSpot. They have on the website. It's really good. I read it and it's really nice. I like it a lot. Then we have our 21 most common objections. And this is where, like, believe it or not, most people lose a transaction because of an objection. They ask you for something, you don't know the answer, and you start stumbling on your response back, and the client sends that, and they feel like, you know what, I like that agent from the Eric Stewart group. They did an amazing presentation. But when I ask a couple of questions to challenge their knowledge about the local area, hyperlocal agent, right? The sales, the stats, when I asked them about those things, they didn't even know that, but for sell by owner that was on the market, and you know, that just kind of like felt a bad impression, bad taste, and they can just go in a different direction. Now so those were just written objections. These are about the same objections, but this now has the voice, the pitch, and has a different things, how you move your hands, how you end a sentence, how you end a question, where your tonality and your body manners and so on. So this is very important for you guys to, these are like about 20 videos that are going to be here, 22 videos actually, that talk about different things. This is from Tom Ferry when he was one of the instructors at Remax, paid instructors, okay? And then, of course, you have the listing presentation that we have. I think this is a video that Jim, Debbie, and Eric did a couple of years ago. So I took the video and put it right here, so you'll be able to watch the video and just to see how he's, you know, working through all of these things that has to do with the listing presentation. This is a copy of the presentation. Each of you has your own presentation. So we will be working on those things. And there's a little bit of an assignment. I'm not going to show that. And then this is the processes. This is the MLS, pre-MLS listings, protocols, and procedures. You all are very familiar with all these things because you do it quite often. So this is not going to be something new to you all. Although, you know, when you don't do it often, you probably tend to forget certain things. So I want to make sure that this is just more like a reinforcement of all the things that you already know, and that we put them here all together. And then we have some growth tools. So this is just things that we recommend. There is no obligation, nothing that you have to do. Some of the new agents have gotten some certain books. Once I took over bringing new agents, we changed a little bit of how the onboarding takes place. So this is our certain things, some books that you may have. As I said, Eric has this one for you guys as a gift. Don't say that I said to all of you that, but this is just some books that I have researched, and through the coach that we have and some other people, they have given me a really good positive feedback of these books. Can definitely help you with your growth and your business. Oops, sorry, what happened here? Sorry. There's all other books. And then this is some podcasts that you can subscribe and you can listen to. These guys do a great job of bringing what's going on right now. I know Jim Beckley mentioned it last week in a text message to Eric and myself about the Zillow terminating the iBuyer system they have in place, where they no longer buying properties. So that's big things that's going on in the news right now, because they decided not to do that, and apparently they're even losing money. It turns out, just after doing a lot of research, I found out that the problem why they decided to terminate this was because the algorithm they have on this estimate did not match the market trends in the areas where they were buying these homes. So for example, they bought a house for $400,000. They did a little bit of work and then they wanted to list it at $480,000 immediately. Well, house went on the market, house went under contract, and all of a sudden the house, the appraisal did not go through. So that was the main issue. So I started to fight the appraisals and they were like, no, they were just, there's no way a house in 2-3 months can appraise that much. So that started to just say, okay, so that they have to sell that property at the appraised value, which probably could have been $40,000, $60,000 less. So that started happening many times until the point they can no longer, it's not a good business model. Now, keep in mind that Zillow has the data from buyers that interact with their website, so they know their behaviors, and they thought maybe if we buy the houses, they will come and buy from us, so we don't have to give it to another realtor. But apparently that program was not as successful as it was. It could be that they may relaunch the program under a different name in a couple of years, but as it is right now, the iBuyer program from Zillow doesn't exist anymore, and that is because their collapse of their algorithm in terms of not being able to keep up with the market trends in the different geographical areas where they were buying and owning real estate, because they own this property. So they're about to release all this inventory, put it back on the market, which we don't know what's going to do. I don't think they did a lot of that over here. Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you mention once that you heard somebody in this area that were getting an offer from Zillow to buy their property?
No, it wasn't Zillow. There was a Redfin listing. I think I sent you maybe in August.
Okay, so what's a Redfin? So Redfin, I know.
Bought the house, and it was over on Kersey, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Redfin owned the home. They rehabbed it. They listed. They did the whole thing. So it was a similar thing, but just through a different company, and actually sold successfully.
Okay.
Actually, that's interesting because I showed that house. We almost had a deal off market for that house at 800, and the agent was the Redfin agent and was like, you know what, Redfin has this new program. They're coming to look at it. I can't imagine they're going to offer to buy it in cash for any more than you're offering. So it should work in our advantage. And then they came back at 860.
This is the one just a couple doors up from Falls on Kersey, right?
Exactly. Yeah, maybe even the first one up on the left with the big yard.
But it was weird why they would have bought that home, because it wasn't a distressed home through the years. Like, I don't know if the inside looked at it before, but it's weird that they would have gotten involved in a home like that.
Yeah, it was very cluttered, but beyond that, it was a very nice home.
So did they lose money on that sale, do you think?
No, definitely not.
No. And it was cash, and the
yeah.
owners didn't want to do anything to it, so they were thrilled to walk away with 800 cash.
Got it. Okay. I think I mentioned to you all that the house 3 doors down from me on Old Canal was sold to Redfin. Redfin bought the house for $800.
We lost you.
I think we lost him. Probably he's on Woodson Parkway. We always lose him when he's there.
Nope.
Oh, right here. Are you
Yeah,
back?
can you? Yeah. Okay. So I'm on River Road, but apologize for that. Well, interesting. I had
Like Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah.
okay.
It's getting all cut off, Eric. We cannot understand.
Okay.
Okay. Any feedback, any questions, any concerns? I know you, Sarah, Shannon, Tayo, and Keely wanted to go through some of this training right away, and apologize for not having this ready before, but as you can see, it took some time, and I'm still waiting for Eric to give me the thumbs up on this. Do any of you have any questions about anything right now? Anything that you guys need help with? You're struggling. I mean, this is, it's pretty quiet. I know. I was asked recently by one of our agents, hey, are we getting any calls, any leads? And the answer is not a lot. We're getting a couple good calls from the radio that comes when Eric is live. And those are probably mostly going to be Virginia. I mean, the radio has become a Virginia lead generator, not as much as DC and Maryland. And Eric is fully aware of that. So if you guys, need anything, just let me know. We're working on something. Great time to be connecting with past clients or sphere of influence, either through doing some type of event, dropping off cookies, pies, sending holiday cards. It's a great time to be thinking of those things and start planning for next year. I will be sending you all an email pretty soon to we go through talking about your business plan for next year in terms of transactions, and then review your what's going on with your current business and transactions. But I will say that for the most part, we're just here doing things as much as we can with all the changes that we have on the staff sometimes. Quick update on Shelly's daughter. Shelly texted me yesterday saying that her daughter was being taking her to the Johns Hopkins Baltimore hospital in Baltimore, and that's they've been wanting to make this move from last week, the middle of last week, but apparently they did not have a room available. So now there was one became available, and I think Hallie's being now sent and admitted into the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. So if you want to text her, send her an encouraging message, call her. She said, I take all of the above. So just she's there. And it looks like Eric is back. Can you hear us, Eric?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, clear.
Excellent. Well, not to interrupt the flow of what you were just saying, that was part of the reason I wanted to call back too, is just to update you on how Shelly and Hadley are doing. So we'd like to support them with meal cards, because she's basically just at her daughter's side and is going to be there, I don't know, for an unforeseen amount of time. I'm not sure exactly. So we also encourage you, we're going to do a meal for her similar to what we've done for some of you when you've been in a predicament, and we just care, as a team. So, but your thoughts, your cards, your texts, your whatever you want to do on your own, we encourage you to do that. And I know she'll appreciate knowing that we're thinking about her. And it sounds like their care is, dramatically different at Johns Hopkins than what she was experiencing before that. So, and she's, finally getting the kind of help that she really needed. So that's good news.
Good. I think that's it on my end, guys. I know Amir is done too. Eric, do you have anything else to add?
I've got some other things, but I think it'll wait till the next meeting.
Okay.
Just we've all got we got Thanksgiving coming up. Grateful for all of you, and it's a downtime. A lot of families are home. It's a good time for calling your sphere, reaching out, let them know you're thinking about them, and see if there's anything that, if they know of anybody who might be thinking about buying or selling anytime in the future. So prospecting now will produce listings for the springtime. So if you make 5 calls, 10 calls a day, you make 100 calls, you should get 1 opportunity out of 100 calls. That's typical. So if you can make 10 calls a day, then hopefully within 2 weeks, you'll have generated an opportunity for you to list something for the spring. So it's not rocket science. It's just statistics, and it's pretty consistent that way. So maybe you'll end up with 2 new listings. So that's all. I wish you guys a good day, and thanks so much for being with us. Does anybody else have anything they want to share?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. God bless you.
Bless you.
Okay. Take care. Bye.